Hey guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back. I'm Shane.
Zach.
There's a fly in here, buzzing around, and we're reacting to Back to the Future 3. You've been a good sport. I know you were hesitant to do these. I talked you into it after many, many months, and I'm glad you really like them. And like me, you like the second one more than the first. Some people don't, and some people, their favorite is the third one. I think Jamie's favorite is the third, actually.
Okay.
But they're all really good. The first one is a classic for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. But we left off last time.
Pretty simple formula.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, isn't it?
But I like the detail and the fact that they went through the trouble of ensuring that everything you see as they influence the timeline, that those things change.
There's all kinds of little things I didn't even know until I was older and got on YouTube. Like little things that they changed, like with the signs.
Yeah, and regardless or not of if in theory this would be practical time travel, as far as the movies go, and creating them and what they've done, I appreciate that. I haven't seen this one. I think when I was a kid, I saw little clips on television. Like I said, I was never drawn to the series.
Yeah.
I never sat down like, man, I really got to watch this. Like I was more like, I watched Ghostbusters, shit like that. So, and horror films that I was too young to watch. But because horror films, especially B ones, are more like some weird soft porn meets like gore.
Horror always, it was always something I stayed away from. I think it's just don't like being scared. I don't like being. I definitely don't like being disturbed.
I don't think. Yeah, my parents must have rented the movies and just not paid attention to when I was around to watch them.
But when I was a kid, like if I confronted that, I would just walk out of the room and be like, "I'm not watching this." Like
I didn't. I was watching it.
What'd that do for you?
Yeah, it didn't do much. Anything good. So,
dude, The Beast freaked me out.
Hell yeah! The fucking squid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a horror movie to me.
Well, you imagine how that would influence me compared to the fact that I watched Jaws way too young.
Yeah. And
hated the ocean for years. When I finally went to the ocean, I wouldn't step foot in it. The beach, I stood there.
Yeah.
Like, we go in the water, Zach? Nope.
Yeah.
I'm good where I'm at. And finally I got in there, but I don't go very far.
We were talking in our pre-talk. Before the pre-talk, there's a postal worker that brought a letter. And the guy actually, he just passed away. He worked on...
He was a Jackass guy from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, and he worked on Freaks and Geeks. He just passed away like this year. Mm-hmm. He was so funny in Freaks and Geeks, but that letter was there for 70 years. It was 1955, and obviously we're in 2024 now. When you're watching that movie, you're thinking, wow, just 7 years before then, like it was a Wild Wild West. Like you don't even, it's crazy.
We're discussing how the U.S. Civil War didn't even occur 200 years ago. And you can imagine two human beings that had a healthy lifestyle could live back to back between now and the U.S. Civil War.
Guys, before we jump in, if you want to support us and you like this group, we're also doing horror movies every time we do these. The horror movies will come out in October, and I imagine these will come out before that. But we're going to be trying doing a couple movies a month. So they're on our Patreon, and we have full-length uncut reactions to all the things that we do.
Uncut.
Shane, what length was it?
Full length. So go check that out, and make sure if you go there, you come back here to listen to Zach's reaction and review. Let's jump in.
Sunday, November 13th, 1955, 7:01 a.m. Last night's time travel experiment was apparently a complete success. After that,
Did he forget? Yeah, he was bad.
Undoubtedly, this was some sort of exotic image.
Calm down, okay? Just calm down. It's me. It's Marty.
No, it can't be you. I sent you back to the future.
Hey, Doc, that's right, but I came back again. I came back from the future.
This can't be happening. You can't be here. It doesn't make sense for you to be here. I refuse to believe that you are here.
But you are!
My calculations are correct. You will receive this letter immediately after you saw the DeLorean struck by lightning. First, the overload shorted out the time circuits and destroyed the flying circuits. It actually flew.
Yeah, we had a hover conversion done in the early 21st century.
Incredible. I set myself up as a blacksmith.
Pretty heavy, huh?
I have buried the DeLorean in the abandoned Delgado mine adjacent to the old Boot Hill Cemetery as shown on the enclosed map. Inside, you will find repair instructions. Should have no problem repairing it so that you can drive it back to the future. I repeat, do not attempt to come back here to get me. I am perfectly happy living in the fresh air and wide open spaces. And please take care of Einstein for me.
He's your dog, Doc. Einstein. It's what you call your dog in 1985.
I know you will give him a good home. These are my wishes. Please respect them and follow them. And so, Marty, I now say farewell and wish you Godspeed. You've been a good, kind, and loyal friend to me, and you made a real difference in my life. And think on you with fond memories, warm feelings, and a special place in my heart. Your friend in time, Doc.
That's a cool line.
Brown.
I know.
September 1st, 1885. I never knew I could write anything so touching.
That's like a mind fuck, isn't it?
Right, Copernicus.
Sorry, Doc. It's all my fault you're stuck back there. I never should have let Biff get to me.
Well, there are plenty worse places to be than the Old West. I could have ended up in the Dark Ages. They probably would have burned me at the stake as a heretic or something. Let's look at the map. We may have to blast.
I'd be very cautious, wouldn't you?
Reminds me of the time I attempted to reach the center of the earth. I've been reading my favorite author, Jules Verne. Of course, I was only 12 at the time. You know, it was the writings of Jules Verne that had a profound effect on my life. And then I realized that I must devote my life to science.
Doc, check it out. Look at this.
My initials! Just like in Journey to the Center of the Earth. That means the time machine must be right through this wall.
Well, the idea that his future self will put that there, too, is interesting. To go back in time to get your future self, you know?
It's been buried here for 70 years, 2 months, and 13 days. Astounding.
No wonder this circuit failed. It says made in Japan.
All the best stuff is made in Japan.
Unbelievable. Just occurred to me, Marty, since I end up in 1885, perhaps I'm now in the history books. I wonder, could I go to the library and look myself up?
You're the one that's always saying, you know, it's not good to know too much about your own destiny.
You're right, Marty. I know too much already. Better that I not attempt to uncover the circumstances of my own future. Copernicus!
We're going past.
Come on, boy!
Copernicus, come on, let's go home, boy.
See Doc Brown's grave.
That wouldn't happen. That's not realistic, Zach.
Emmett Brown.
I got your ass.
Get back. September 7th, 1885.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
You're not far off, Doc.
Great Scott.
Check this out.
Shot in the back by Buford Tannen over a matter of $80. What kind of a future do you call that?
Buford Tannen was a notorious gunman. He was quick on the trigger and bragged that he had killed 12 men, not including Indians or Chinamen.
Doesn't mention me. Am I one of the 12? William McFly and family. Your relatives?
My great-grandfather's name was William. Good-looking guy.
Him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was a mistake, Doc. Maybe that grave wasn't yours. It could have been another Emmett Brown back in 1885.
The Browns didn't come to Hill Valley until 1908, and then they were the Von Brauns. My father changed our name during the First World War.
Doc, look.
Yeah, figured.
Great Scott. Then it is true. All of it. It is me who
The
goes
new
back
clock.
and gets shot.
It's not gonna happen, Doc. After you fix the time circuits and put new tires on the DeLorean, I'm going back to 1885 and I'm bringing you home.
I just love it, dude. What's crazy is in the first movie they talked about save the clock tower. It's been there since 1885. So he helped make. So it's like this huge history of this whole town.
Haven't you ever seen a Western?
Yeah, I have, Doc. And Clint Eastwood never wore anything like this.
I think we're about ready. I put gas in the tank. The future clothes are packed. Just a case, fresh batteries for your walkie-talkies. Oh, what about that floating device?
Hoverboard.
All right. All you have to do is drive the time vehicle directly toward that screen, accelerating 88 miles an hour.
If I drive straight towards the screen, I'm gonna crash into those Indians.
Marty, you'll instantly be transported to 1885, and those Indians won't even be there.
There's gonna be Indians there now. See?
Well, it's weird. You figured he would know that?
Yeah.
But that's a good theory.
In terms of how they make movies.
Where you're not a fool.
Yeah. Well, in that regard, you're right. He's got a 6-shooter.
Away!
Say it.
Kind of a cool looking car now. That's a cool look.
Imagine those guys seeing that right into their view.
Yeah. You figured they'd freak the hell. They're people, you know. They'd freak the hell out.
What the fuck? What are they charging?
So they're just making their daily rounds here.
Running around.
They're screaming.
The cavalry's chasing them.
I mean, they're already out west. Where do you want them to go? Mm-hmm. When was Andrew Jackson there?
That was after, you're talking about the Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
The Cherokee. The Plains Wars were right after the Civil War.
Okay. So they're already out west. Why are they chasing them still?
Damn, I ripped the fuel line.
Oh, fuck! He would not outrun that thing.
You're not going to outrun that.
If he wanted to eat his ass, he would not outrun it.
Yeah, eat your asshole
It's
first.
also a black bear. And black bears are indigenous to the eastern United States. Maybe they couldn't find a trained grizzly.
Well, maybe in 1885.
Maybe
they're out west. I don't know.
Well, there's not even I don't even think that's an indigenous habitat for a grizzly bear. It's like the Southwest.
Maggie! Some water. We got a herdsman here. Mom, is that you?
There now. You've been asleep for nearly 6 hours now.
6 hours.
This horrible nightmare. I was being chased by all these Indians and a bear.
Well, you're safe and sound here now at the McFly farm.
McFly farm? Ah! Who are you?
The name's McFly. Maggie McFly.
Maggie McFly.
And that's Mrs. McFly. And don't you be forgetting the Mrs. And what might your name be, sir?
Well, it's Clint. Clint Eastwood.
Well, you hit your head, Mr. Eastwood. Not too serious, but lucky for you, Seamus found you when he did.
It's a good accent.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked the Irish accent.
Oh, yeah.
That's William?
Aye. William Sean McFly, the first of our family to be born in America. This here's Mr. Clint Eastwood here visiting. Sure, and he likes you, Mr. Eastwood.
Maggie, I've got supper. I'll take you as far as the railroad tracks. You can follow him straight on into town.
Buckshot. Well, that just still happens now.
I think you'll find the barn comfortable. Never any complaints about it from the pigs.
Seamus, a word with you.
Will you hold him for a minute?
I don't think they would trust his ass.
You sure you're not after bringing a curse on this house, taking him in like that? Such a strange young man.
Aye, but I've just got a feeling about him, Maggie. Looking after him's the right thing to do. Look how my Bobby takes to him.
The Bobby.
Oh, he never takes to strangers.
Look how small it is. See if like a harmonica version of some of the themes.
Yeah. Right in the shit.
Yep. I don't know what people would think of that outfit. Probably not very highly of it.
No.
Must have got that shirt off on a dead Chinese.
He sounds like Chief from Fox and the Hound.
It might be.
What'll it be, stranger?
Ice water?
Ice. You want water, you better go dunk your head in the horse trough out there. In here, we pour whiskey.
I like the idea. It's so strong it burns the wood.
But actually back then it was funny. It's usually weaker. Just like because they could drink it as water.
Thought I done told you never to come in. You want to change, McFly? What's your name, dude?
Clint Eastwood.
What kind of stupid name is that? Bartender, I'm looking for that no-good cheating blacksmith. You seen him? No, sir, Mr. Tannen, I have not.
Tannen? You're Mad Dog Tannen.
Mad Dog.
When I was a little kid, I didn't know it was the same actor. He looks like a Western guy with that, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody calls me Mad Dog, especially not some duded up, egg-sucking gutter trash.
Shit.
Shit.
Oh, God.
Tobacco spit. Click. Nice seeing an accurate Western film.
So just like this themes that carry on throughout time in this town. It's like this...
They're constant.
I've heard all kinds of cool fan theories that like this town is like it's almost like a Virgins of the Force, like the significant spot in history. See him Gippin here? Right there?
Yeah. He's Gippin the scene before that.
Yeah. It's very sad, but it's when he first started showing signs of Parkinson. They thought he hurt himself here, but he didn't. And it kept getting worse. He was diagnosed like right after this movie.
We got ourselves a new courthouse. Hot time we had a hanging. Haven't had a hanging in a long time.
They'll shoot the fleas off a dog's back at 500 yards, Tannen.
Like his hat. How
Yeah.
tall it
You owe
is.
me money, blacksmith. See, I was on my horse when it threw the shoe and I got thrown off. And that caused me to bust a perfectly good bottle of fine Kentucky Red Eye.
Bring them back and I'll resew them.
I done shot that horse. Well, that's your problem, Tannen. From now on, you better be looking behind you when you walk. Because one day you're going to get a bullet in your back.
I think the guy who benefits the most from this time period shift is Biff Tannen's the actor. Like he looks like a mean son of a bitch that he is.
I gave you explicit instructions not to come here, but to go directly back to 1985. But it's good to see you, Marty. What idiot dressed you in that outfit?
You did.
Shot in the back by Buford Tannen over a matter of $80. Now I wish I'd paid him off. And who's this beloved Clara? I don't know anyone named Clara.
I don't know, Doc. I thought maybe she was a girlfriend of yours.
Marty, my involvement in such a social relationship could result in a disruption of the space-time continuum. Oh, Emmett! Hubert!
A cool little place, isn't it?
Excuse me, Emmett. You remember last week at the town meeting when you volunteered to meet the new school teacher at the station when she came in? Oh, yes, quite so.
That's
Well,
her.
we just got word she's coming in tomorrow. Her name's Miss Clayton. Clara Clayton.
His looks, man, like
Now we know who Clara is.
Marty, it's impossible. The idea that I could fall in love at first sight?
You meet the right girl, it just hits you. It's like lightning.
Marty, please don't say that.
That's the way it was with me and Jennifer. God, Jennifer, damn, I hope she's all right, Doc. I can't believe we just left her there on the porch.
When you burned the almanac in 1955, the normal timeline was restored. That means once we're back in 1985, you just have to go over to the house and wake her up. Turn that valve over there. All the way to the right. Yeah, put it all the way around. Okay, let's go. Nice tea.
this looks, man. I'm telling you, just
Get to the DeLorean and get ourselves back to the future.
Oh, listen, Doc, I tore a hole in the gas tank when I was landing, so we're gonna have to patch it up and get some gas.
You mean we're out of gas? There's not gonna be a gas station around here until sometime in the next century. And without gasoline, we can't get the DeLorean up to 88 miles per hour.
So what do we do? Bartender says that's the strongest stuff they got.
Try it, Marty.
now wouldn't it mess up the engine if you just kept pouring shit in there, then?
Well, some engines, especially more recent engines, are designed. I don't know when they started making ethanol-powered engines, where you can burn alcohol
Yeah, alcohol too.
in certain engines, but that may not be a high enough concentration of alcohol, obviously.
It blew the fuel injection manifold. Strong stuff, all right. It'll take me a month to rebuild it. We know it won't run under its own power. We know we can't pull it. But if we could figure out a way to push it up to 88 miles an hour. Huh? Sit.
How fast did she go? Why, I've had her up to 55 myself.
Well, you think it's possible to get it up to 90?
Ha! 90? Darnation, son, who never need to be in such a hurry.
Theoretically speaking, could it be done?
Well, I suppose if you had a straight stretch of track with a level grade and you weren't hauling no cars behind you, and if you could get the fire hot enough, and I'm talking about hotter than the blazes of hell and damnation itself, then yes, it might be possible to get her up that fast.
Here. This spur that runs off the main line 3 miles out to Clayton Ravine. Funny. This map calls Clayton Ravine Shonash Ravine. That must be the old Indian name for it. It's perfect.
Nice long run.
What is that it's called?
Clayton Ravine?
No. What it was used to be called.
Well, Doc, we can scratch that idea. I mean, we can't wait around a year and a half for this thing to get finished.
You're just not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Right, I have a real problem with that.
Don't you see? The bridge will exist in 1985.
Sure. Shonash. That's probably the new teacher.
Well, that's not realistic, though.
I believe it is. It was a 90s Western film.
You saved my life.
I've seen her in some things.
Wasn't she in
I'm Brown at your service, miss.
the Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Clayton.
Yeah.
The beautiful woman.
Clara Clayton.
What a beautiful name.
Cue romantic music.
You know, I'm almost glad that snake spooked those horses. Otherwise, we might never have met. Suppose it was destiny. What sort of science? Astronomy? Chemistry?
Actually, I'm a student of all sciences.
Hey, Doc.
We have to get going.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. What a nice little place, too.
It was very
What
quaint.
do you mean you're gonna be seeing lots of her, Doc?
Well, I might see her again just in passing. After all, Miss Clayton almost ended up at the bottom of Clayton Ravine. Clayton Ravine?
Holy shit, hey, Doc. Clayton Ravine was named after a teacher. They say she fell in there 100 years ago.
Great Scott! Then she was supposed to go over in that wagon. Now, I may have seriously altered history.
What's the worst that can happen, huh? So they don't name the ravine after her. Let's just get the DeLorean ready and get the hell out of here.
I wish I'd never invented that infernal time machine. It's caused nothing but disaster. I apologize for the crudity of this model, but
Yeah, no, Doc, it's not the scale.
Yeah, just like in the first movie.
The train leaves the station at 8 Monday morning. We'll stop it here, uncouple the cars from the tender, throw the switch track, and then we'll borrow the locomotive and use it to push the time machine. At which point we'll be instantaneously transported back to 1985 and coast safely across the completed bridge.
What does
It
this
wasn't
mean?
completed.
Point of no return.
Up until there, we still have enough time to stop the locomotive before it plunges into the ravine. But once we pass this windmill, it's the future or bust.
Train pulling out of the station! Coming up the switch track! Throw switch! Pull up to the DeLorean! Pushing the DeLorean! It couldn't be simpler.
So just like how Marty changed things in the first one, and then
Not Doc's one.
his mom was chasing after him, now she's chasing after Doc.
Why, hello. This is quite a surprise.
Well, I hope I'm not disturbing anything.
Oh, no. We were just doing a little model railroad.
Emmett, when my bags were thrown from the wagon, my telescope was damaged. And since you mentioned an interest in science, I thought you might be able to repair it for me. I would pay you.
I wouldn't think of charging you for this. Well, let's have a look at it.
I think a lens may be out of alignment because if you move it this way, the image turns fuzzy. But if you turn it the other way.
Everything becomes
Clean.
clear.
I can repair it right away and have it for you tonight.
Tonight's the town festival. I wouldn't dream of having you work on my telescope during such an important occasion. You are planning on attending.
Oh. Well, actually, ma'am,
Yes,
I don't
yes.
think...
Of course, the festival.
Of course.
Well, in that case, I'll see you this evening at the festival, Emmett. Mr. Eastwood.
Ma'am.
thank you for taking care of my telescope.
You're quite welcome.
It's a nice telescope.
Ladies and gentlemen, as mayor of Hill Valley, to dedicate this clock to the people of Hill County. May it stand for all time. Let the festivities begin.
Tonight is a night for America.
The only problem is we'll never be able to show it to anybody.
Smile, Doc.
It reminds me of The Devil Went Down to Georgia when the Satan's song comes on.
That's a really good song.
It is.
Yeah.
I just told you that even a baby can handle this weapon. Surely you're not afraid to try something that a
Take the
baby
finger off the trigger, man.
I'm not afraid of
Oh,
nothing.
come on. Yeah, let's just step up here like a baby.
Hey, just tell me one thing. Where'd you learn to shoot like that?
7-Eleven.
So we have like the game. Yeah, actually, that's a really cool idea. What if they had games like that, like for real guns?
Yeah, or Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai with his rifle demonstration.
You gentlemen will have to
Oh, yeah,
check
you're
your
right.
firearms if you want to join in on the festivities.
Who's gonna make this tenderfoot? You?
I am.
Marshal Strickland. I didn't know you was back in town.
If you can't read the signs,
Strickland.
I presume you can read this. Pretty tough armor when you're pointing a scattergun at a man's back.
just like you, Tannen, I take every advantage I can get. Now, you gonna check your iron?
Of course I'm gonna check my iron. We all were, weren't we, boys? Smile, Marshal. After all, this is a party.
The only party I'll be smiling at is the one that sees you at the end of a rope. That's how you handle him, son. Never give him an inch and maintain discipline at all times. Remember that word, discipline.
I will, Pa.
Like generations of them.
Yeah, I know. I know. So you have like this eternal struggle between the Tannins and the other people, and the Stricklands
yeah.
and the McFlys, kind of, you know.
What are you gonna do, boss?
Figure. If I bury this muzzle deep enough in his back, nobody will hear the shot.
You ain't got but one bullet with that.
I only need one.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like the way he cringes
Yeah.
with everything he's doing. He just seems like a dirty piece of shit.
Yeah, I think a real actor is like really tall and big.
Mm-hmm.
I told you to watch your back, Smithy. Look at what we have here. Ain't you gonna introduce me to the lady? I'd like a dance.
I wouldn't give you that pleasure. You'll just have to go ahead and shoot.
All right.
No, Emmett, I'll dance with him, Emmett. I'll
Boys,
dance
keep the
with him.
blacksmith company while I get acquainted with the Billy.
I don't dance very well when my partner has a gun in his hand.
Oh, you learn. You learn. You know, Smithy, maybe I'll just take my $80 worth out of her. Whoa.
Whoa.
Damn you, Tannen! No, I damn you. I damn you to hell! Hey, lighten up, jerk! Mighty strong words, Runt. You man enough to back them up with more than just a pie plate?
Look, just leave my friends alone.
Oh, what's wrong, dude? You yellow? That's what I thought. Yellow.
These are dirty in the white of his eyes.
I know. He's,
Sticking out.
yeah.
Nobody calls me yellow.
Let's finish it.
Not now, Buford. Marshall's got our guns.
Like I said, we'll finish this tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we're robbing the Pine City stage.
What about Monday? We doing anything Monday?
No, Monday be fine. You can kill him on Monday.
I'll be back this way on Monday.
When? High noon?
I do my killing before breakfast. 7 o'clock.
8 o'clock. I do my killing after breakfast.
All right, now break it up. All right, folks, come on. This is a party. Come on, let's have some fun.
They're all like right on cue.
Let's go, boys. Let these bitches have their party.
What about Monday? We doing anything Monday?
Yeah. Monday you can kill him.
I'm gonna take Clara home.
You
Right.
sure
Good night, Doc.
set
Good night,
him
Clara.
straight, Mr. Eastwood? I'm glad somebody finally got the gumption to stand up to that son of a bitch.
You're all right,
So,
Mr.
big-
Eastwood.
I'd like for you to have this brand new Colt Peacemaker and gun built, free of charge.
Free?
I want everybody to know that the gun that shot Buford Tannen was a Colt Peacemaker.
Hey, no problem. Thanks a lot.
Of course, you understand that if you lose, I'm taking it back.
You had him, Mr. Eastwood. You could have just walked away and nobody would have thought the less of you for it. Seamus, relax. I know what I'm doing.
He reminds me of poor Martin.
Hi. Who? Me brother. Wait a minute. You have a brother named Martin McFly? Had a brother. Martin used to let men provoke him into fight. He was concerned that people would think him a coward if he refused. That's how he got a Bowie knife shoved through his belly in a saloon in Virginia City. Never considered the future, poor Martin. God rest his soul.
Sure, and I hope you're considering the future, Mr. Eastwood.
I think about it all the time.
That's a good view of the moon.
Fuck yeah, it is. It would mean light pollution back then, so
Yeah.
you'd have to be like right up next to a town.
Yeah.
When I was 11, I had diphtheria. I was quarantined for 3 months. So my father brought this telescope and he put it next to my bed
3
so I could
months.
see everything out the window. Emmett, do you think we'll ever be able to travel to the moon the way we travel across the country on trains?
Definitely. Although not for another 84 years and not on trains. We'll have space vehicles, capsules settle off, devices that create giant explosions. Explosions so powerful that they just...
They break the pull of the Earth's gravity and send the projectile through outer space. Emmett, I read that book too. You're quoting Jules Verne from The Earth to the Moon.
You've read Jules Verne.
Jules Verne.
I never met a woman who liked Jules Verne before.
When we go to the moon?
Met a
68?
man like you before.
I don't know the year.
Or 69.
I'm not even convinced we even went.
I'm not convinced. I think we did, but
I think it's believable either way. I think it's believable that we went. It's believable that we faked it.
I feel like we went, but I don't know if we went the first time. I think it's more impressive if we did it to fool the Soviets and bankrupt them.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a better
Oh,
story.
Project Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So many pieces of shell in that.
Yeah. I mean, you can see them right there. That we have like in the first movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that bacon?
Yeah.
Hope those things were clean and what the fuck?
Oh.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Fuck yeah. I'd love to have a Colt's single action army.
But like, you know, leather belt.
Good luck tomorrow, Mr. Eastwood. We'll be praying for you.
Thanks. Doc, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing. Just out enjoying the morning air. It's really lovely here in the morning, don't you think?
Yeah, it's lovely, Doc. Listen, we're gonna load the DeLorean up and get ready to roll. Look at that, the tombstone.
Marty, let me see that photograph. My name, it's vanished.
Hey, that's great, Doc.
But only my name is erased. The tombstone itself and the dates still remain. That doesn't make sense. We know that this photograph represents what will happen if the events of today continue to run their course into tomorrow.
I just need to take your measurement.
Oh, look, pal, I don't want to buy a suit.
No, this is for your coffin.
My coffin?
Well, the odds are running 2 to 1 against you.
So, it may not be my name that's supposed to end up on this tombstone.
He had a bullet hole in his hat.
Marty, why are you wearing that gun? You're not considering going up against Tannen tomorrow.
You heard what that son of a bitch called me last night?
Marty, you can't go losing your judgment every time someone calls you a name. That's exactly what causes you to get into that accident in the future.
Wait a minute, Doc. What is wrong with my future?
Marty, we all have to make decisions that affect the course of our lives. You've got to do what you've got to do. And I've got to do what I've got to do. Marty.
Yeah?
I've made a decision. I'm not going with you tomorrow. I'm staying here. I'm in love with Clara.
Oh, man. Doc, we don't belong here. You know, it could still be you that gets shot tomorrow. This tombstone could still be in your future.
Marty, the future isn't written. It can be changed. You know that. I can't let this one little photograph determine my entire destiny. I have to live my life according to what I believe is right in my heart.
You're a scientist. What's the right thing to do? Up here.
You're right, Marty.
Doc, listen, I don't know, maybe we can just take Clara with us.
You reminded me, Marty. I'm a scientist, so I must be scientific about this. I cautioned you about disrupting the continuum for your own personal benefit. Therefore, I must do no less. We shall proceed as planned, and as soon as we return to 1985, we'll destroy this infernal machine. Traveling through time has become much too painful.
That'll be hard. Especially he's gone his whole life without having that person in his life. And finally having it in the circumstances. Because as a scientist, he's still deep down, he's a romantic.
Yeah,
Which makes sense for a scientist because they explore.
To me, this movie was always a little slower, but I feel like the authenticity of that storyline made it better for me.
I've come to say goodbye.
Goodbye? Well, where are you going?
I want you to know that I care about you deeply, but I realize that I don't belong here, and I have to go back where I came from.
And wherever you go, and take me with you.
I can't, Clara. I wish it didn't have to be this way, but just believe me when I tell you that I'll never forget you, and that I love you.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Clara, I don't think there's any way that you can understand it.
I literally
Please, Emmett, please, I have to know.
I'm leaving and I love you.
If you sincerely do love me, then tell me the truth.
I'm from the future. I came here in a time machine that I invented, and tomorrow I have to go back to the year 1985.
I understand, because you know I'm partial to the writings of Jules Verne. You concocted those mendacities in order to take advantage of me. I've heard some whoppers in my day, but the fact that you'd expect me to entertain a notion like that is so insulting and degrading. All you had to say is I don't love you and I don't want to see you anymore. That at least would have been respectful.
But that's not the truth.
Just go, right?
I get both perspectives. But circumstantially, if he actually believes that he needs to leave, he needs to let it go.
I probably wouldn't even gone there.
No. Let it be what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You get drunk?
What can I get you? The usual?
No, Chester, I'm gonna need something a lot stronger than that tonight. Whiskey, Chester.
Emmett, are you sure you know what happened to you on the 4th of July?
It's a woman, right? You'll get over her.
No, Clara is 1 in a million, 1 in a billion.
Piece of barbed wire.
Peddling this barbed wire all across the country has taught me one thing. It's that you never know what the future might bring.
Oh, the future. Oh, I can tell you about the future.
You know what's interesting is the idea that I bet he's a historical figure, like some barbed wire guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why risk staying out there in the wilderness?
Well, a lot of people did, but they didn't sleep right beside their fire, though.
Got me a run to get.
Still early, boss. You hurry.
Hungry. And in the future, we don't need horses. We have motorized carriages called automobiles.
He doesn't touch much of that bottle. Unless it's a new one.
Does anybody walk or run anymore?
Good point.
Of course we run, but for recreation, for fun.
Run for fun? What the hell kind of fun is that?
How much has he had?
None. That's the first one. He hadn't touched it yet.
Yeah.
He likes to hold it.
Doc, what are you doing?
I've lost her, Marty. There's nothing left for me here.
All right, that's why you gotta come back.
Where?
Back to the future.
Gentlemen, excuse me, but my friend and I have to catch a train.
Here's to you, blacksmith! And to the future.
Amen. Amen.
Wake up, Doc. How many do you have?
Just the one.
Just the one? Come on, Doc.
The fella that can't hold his liquor. Get some coffee. Let's make some wake-up juice.
It's like Tabasco and... Oh.
When he opens up his mouth, go ahead and pour it on down his throat.
He's a great physical comedian, too. He really is.
He's still out! All right. That was just a reflex action. Oh, it's gonna take a few more minutes for the stuff to really clear up his head.
Good gosh. He's wearing a corset with his hips. Think a woman wears a push-up bra today. Back then, you get a woman naked, and the corset comes off, and you're like, what? It's a lie.
Where's it at?
This is a lie.
Seamus! Wouldn't expect to see you here this morning.
Hey. Well, something inside me told me I should be here. As if my future had something to do with it.
It's 8 o'clock, and I'm calling you out.
It's not 8 o'clock yet!
It is by my watch. Let's settle this once and for all, Run. All right, you got the gumption.
Listen,
I'd be pretty nervous into that.
I'm not really feeling up to this today, so I'm gonna have to forfeit.
Forfeit? What's that mean?
It means that you win without a fight.
Without shooting? You can't do that. Hey, you can't do that. I think you ain't nothing but a gutless yellow turd. And I'm giving you to the count of 10 to come out here and prove I'm wrong.
You better face up to it, son, because if you don't go out there...
What?
5!
What if I don't go out there?
Everybody, everywhere, will say Clint Eastwood is the biggest yellow belly in the West.
Trying to count.
7! I said that's 10, you gutless yellow pie slinger!
Doc, you okay?
I think so. Whoa.
Listen, you got a back door to this place?
Yeah, it's in the back.
Let's go, Doc.
Are you coming out here? Hey! Listen up, Eastwood. I aim to shoot somebody today, and I'd prefer it be you. You got 1 minute to decide. You hear me, Run? 1 minute.
He lost his performance there for a second. He didn't sound like his usual.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Excuse me,
Ma'am?
but was this man tall with great big brown puppy dog eyes and long silvery flowing hair?
You know him.
You're clear. Is that how that shit worked? Like,
Well, she didn't actuate the brakes. I think it's like an alarm.
Time's up, Run.
Right here, Tannen.
right here, Tannen, when he does that. He just looks like a Western dirty son of a bitch.
I know. His mouth gaped open
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Roll.
No! I thought we could settle this like men.
You thought wrong, dude.
That's from fucking For a Few Dollars More. He's got that plate from the fucking oven.
Yeah,
Or not
yeah.
the oven, but the stove.
Yeah. That could kill his ass.
Yeah. But he earned it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea of like fucking up time.
Broke the tombstone.
Yep. Great little theme of the trilogy.
Get him out of that shit. Buford Tannen, you're under arrest for robbing the Pine City stage. You got anything to say?
I hate manure.
Yes!
The train.
Hey, mister. Mr. Eastwood. Here's your gun, mister.
Thanks, kid. Seamus. It's worth $12, never been used. Maybe I'll trade it for a new hat. Right, and take care of that baby. I will.
I'd be so cautious to give him anything that could change his destiny.
because he's an amazing gunfighter.
Yeah. Leaves his wife.
You see the diorama?
Time machine.
School is like a train robbery, but it's not.
Yeah. What would horses do when they just don't have a rider? They just kind of go back to, their, like, where they came from normally,
They're
right?
kind of like waiting for someone to command them what to do, and eventually they just go back.
That's so cool.
What's going on? His outfit is designed a lot like Eastwood's.
Okay.
From his Leone films.
Helicopter shot too just makes things so much more expensive back then. And
I think he might have wanted to keep the guns so they could take the train. Okay, he's gone.
It's a science experiment.
Slow down, motherfucker.
I think you want to slow down before you got up there. You can fucking knock it off the tracks. That's what that damn cattle guard.
Yeah.
That's what that's for. To get shit out of the way so it doesn't go under the train.
That does make sense, yeah.
What are these things, anyway?
My own version of pestle logs. Pressed wood with anthracite dust chemically treated to burn hotter and longer. Each tree in the furnace will ignite sequentially, make the fire burn hotter, kick up the boiler pressure, and make the train go faster.
The boiler will hold. It could blow up.
And yeah, it's a smart detail. Now that you told me what it's for, that's kind of cool, actually. And that's like the third time that you would see in this movie. You saw a little contradiction, and they addressed it actually.
Cool.
So it's kind of thought through a little bit.
How's he going to get in there to go back? Rip her right out of that horse. Yeah. Legs are sticking out. Her ass could fly into the fucking ravine off this goddamn train.
Yeah.
And they name it after her anyway.
At that point, he's like, oh shit, I think it would be like a 55 by now or something.
Yeah.
So you have the themes of like him looking at his feet, just like he does in the first movie on top of the clock tower.
Don't you stop it, lady. Oh, get your fucking booty moving. Move those hips, darling. Come on. It's amazing to think that that size of an apparatus could not hold that pressure.
I always love that effect.
Only thing would be, what if there's a train there now?
I know, yeah.
Eastwood Ravine.
Yep, Eastwood Ravine.
There you go.
That's fast.
Fuck yeah, it is.
That train could...
Well, it just got their wishes, though.
Yeah.
Destroyed the DeLorean. Those trucks there.
Hey, butthead, get away! Watch it, Biff. 40! I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't recognize you in those clothes. What the hell are you doing? Putting on the second coat now. You going cowboy, huh?
Come on, guys. We're gonna be late for brunch. Hey, Marty, who are you supposed to be? Clint Eastwood?
Right. I gotta go get Jennifer.
It's crazy she's like gorgeous for another like 40 years. You know what I mean?
Marty, I had the worst nightmare.
Yeah, but God, she don't think it's a dream.
Marty, it was a dream, wasn't it?
How's it hanging, McFly?
Hey, Needles.
Nice set of wheel. Next green light.
No thanks.
What's the matter? Chicken?
Marty, don't.
Grab a roll of something.
Needles was in the second one. He was his business partner, remember?
Mm-hmm.
On purpose? Hey, think I'm stupid enough to race that asshole?
So look what would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I would have hit that Rolls Royce.
Remember she heard that?
Mm-hmm.
So they had a clear plan for the second and third. That's what I liked about them. Yep.
Erased.
Change the future still.
You're right, there's not much left.
Doc's never coming back. I'm sure gonna miss him, Jen. What the hell?
What?
Doc! Bernie! Doc! Meet the family. Harry, you know. Hi, Marty. Ma'am. These are our boys. Jules.
Vern.
And Vern. Thought I'd never see you again. You can't keep a nut tying us down. After all, I had to come back for Einstein. Well, I didn't want you to be worried about me. Oh, I brought you a little souvenir. It's great, Doc. Thanks.
Dr. Brown, I wrote this note back from the future and now it's erased.
Of course it's a race. It means your future hasn't been written yet. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. Both of you. Where are you going now? Back to the future? No. Already in there.
Yep. So they converted it.
All right.
The end, yeah. All right. That's the end. Guys, that was our reaction. Zach's first time ever seeing it.
It is indeed.
Now, before we talk about your favorite, whatever, what do you think of the movie?
Well, I will say this, that when I said originally I thought I saw a clip of this movie, the second film, wasn't there a scene where there's like a billboard, like they're in the Wild West, but there's a billboard, like something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one was that? The
second one.
Okay, I must have seen a clip from that one. I've never seen this movie.
Okay.
Like any of it. I don't mean that because I've never sat through any of these films.
Yeah.
I know throughout the course of my life, I've been here 38 years damn near. Yeah, I've seen clips.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to see enough to put any kind of context together. It's like, they went in the future, they went in the past, I knew that kind of shit. I was not interested at all. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I still think the second one was the funniest.
Second one's my favorite.
Yeah. I just based off my emotional experience, just looking back and trying to remember that general feeling.
Yeah. Well, the second one does to me the most. It takes.
Well, I think what it does with Biff. Is the greatest. Like him as the old man.
Yeah.
Interacting with himself. Was the greatest between these movies.
Make like a tree and leave.
You sound like an idiot when you say it.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that aspect of it. Because of how Biff is.
Yeah.
I despise him.
Yeah.
But love the fact that he's there.
He's a great
and what
villain.
he does for the story.
And he's a constant. He's
great.
I've heard all kinds of things like this place actually within the universe is like this well of time where all this important stuff happens, and that's why there's this eternal struggle between Biff and the protagonists. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a cool idea.
Biff is the agent.
Yeah.
Like this of struggle against them.
Yes.
It's great. I really enjoyed that about the second one. So I'm not going to say I missed that because he was still good in this. He just didn't have as much of him.
Yeah, I thought he gave such a good performance in this. I mean,
on Monday, we're doing anything Monday?
Yeah. Well, just
they didn't kill him on
he
Monday.
seemed legit scary here. Like he's like a murderer. He had yellow teeth.
He seemed like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not just like he was a piece of shit no matter what because he was always trying to rape Marty's mom.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to fucking all the shit he's pulling in the second one, and it's just he is a piece of shit, but they made him seem he fit.
Yeah.
He fit very well in that time. So
what do you think of the filmmaker's decision to kind of shift some of these like some of the themes of what Marty was going through in the first one, and shift the focus on Doc Brown, and the story almost revolved around him a little more. And Marty was in the background, kind of supporting him.
Was that because of his issues with Parkinson's?
No, because they didn't know until after this movie. And this movie, I mean, they filmed it alongside the third one.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember,
Second one.
The second one. They set up themes, like they even mentioned Mad Dog Tannen in the second one.
Okay.
They did it. I think they did it all at the same time or back to back.
Yeah.
And they had a good plan, and that's one thing that was really cool about it. But yeah, how'd you feel about Emmett Brown and like his relationship with Clara and?
Well, it was cool because as what I mentioned during the reaction, you know, Emmett was a kind of, in terms of his love life, he's very much a recluse.
Yeah,
and it never made it seem like he was all brains, but he's not the kind of guy that really focused on trying to further that part of his life.
Yeah, he wanted to invent something that would help humanity, and that's where everything went. And, yeah.
And to him, going out and trying to find a woman was like alien.
Yeah, it was kind of counter to that goal. You know what I mean? I think he just picked...
Well, he looked at the data, too.
Yeah.
And he just, it wasn't something that computed. And then when it finally happened, it happened it was a random encounter.
What's interesting is throughout time, he found his woman, like, not in his own time. That's what's interesting. That's what's kind of cool about it. Like, he fell for this woman, like, just, you know, by going back, you know, 100 years, you know what I mean, from his original timeline.
Yeah.
I thought that was just kind of romantic in a way.
I like it. I thought it was a good story. I liked that you talked about the shift. It was fitting to close the story.
Yeah.
Because it didn't leave you at the end of it with what's going on with these kids.
Yeah.
It left you with, okay, he got what he wanted and he's moving on, but Marty's staying where he's at.
Yeah, and Marty, like, he's not going to be, like, bound by, like, shit talk anymore. Like,
no.
His character actually matured and moved forward in a way to where he did it enough to where originally he let that affect his future in a bad way.
And he's also retained the good aspects that have changed in his personal life.
Yeah.
His family's better off. He has Jennifer.
Yeah.
And he has the truck that he wanted, like all that kind of little shit.
Yeah.
That was produced from the first film.
Yeah.
He was able to retain.
Yeah.
So he still had a good life, a
Yeah.
better life, and Doc got a better life too.
Yeah, he had kids, and you know, he's going to be just right off at his train now throughout time. And a couple things you called out just because you've watched movies, and when you watch an older movie, you're going to see things that back then probably did surprise people.
Yeah.
But you're watching movies that have built on these tropes and even got to the point where they're past these tropes now. Back then they were pretty fresh.
Yeah.
You understood with the language of the film, like, okay, now I think there's going to be Indians or Native Americans, whatever you want to call them, running, and, you know, I was like, that'd be silly. And then, of course, that's what happened, and you know, there's one in the middle, but there's one also with the train track, like, well, there's a train coming. You know what I mean? You're saying all these things that, what was interesting is, like, they must have thought, like, well, what if this happened? Like, okay, well, let's either address that so it doesn't happen or put it in the story.
Yeah.
So it was like almost like they were thinking
the
same
thing. They did a very
thing.
good job of being logical. One thing I really appreciated was the fact that when Buford was shooting at his feet, making him dance.
Yeah.
I didn't count the number of bullets that he was fucking firing off at his feet. So to be honest, I didn't count if it was 6.
Yeah.
And realistically, it would have been 5 or 6. A lot of times with those weapons at that time, they would not have carried around in the chamber because if you hit the fucking hammer, there's no safety mechanism and it could shoot your fucking foot.
Yeah.
But either way, he ran out of bullets. If
Yeah.
you look at movies like Young Guns,
I love that movie, but yeah.
they're firing off these guns that only hold 6 rounds endlessly.
Yeah.
And no one ever stops to reload. They're
Yeah.
just, unless it's like a scene where it needs to be tense.
Either
no
during
one's
cover or talking, and they put them in there like that.
But other than that, they're always just scene, like clip after clip.
Yeah.
Just bang, 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 firing off. So I like the fact that, oh, he's out of bullets.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you see a person rack a shotgun 2 or 3 times in a row in a show.
Yeah.
But no one's ever fired a round. So they're
It's
literally unloading their shotgun every time they do it.
It's
They're
like
rack for intimidation.
And then they're talking and they go.
And they're talking and they do it again. So
Yeah.
you've unloaded a round. You do it again. You do it again. And
Yeah.
it's like, come on. But
yeah.
Either way, sometimes, depending on the movie, if it's meant to be comical, it's acceptable.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that's a comedy.
Yeah.
And they did it right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't count the rounds, but they did it right.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
They're at least aware of it. The guy who plays, I'm certain that now is the guy who plays Chief. It has to be.
Yeah. It sounds just like him.
Yeah. The idea that Emmett, he understands the peril of time travel, but it makes sense to take Clara because she originally was supposed to die in that timeline.
Yeah.
So you can just pluck her from the timeline now.
Yeah, because she would have been dead anyway.
Yeah, so
she's not filling a gap and a void. Like, there's no version of her in the future that would be disrupted.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. But imagine from her point of view, everything she could see.
Yeah,
and we were talking about people born in like 1850 to lived in 1950 or something like that. Like, imagine the stuff.
The turn of the century and what that would.
Imagine the stuff she get to see. It's pretty crazy.
Because our turn of the century was not all that exciting.
It was not. We had Will Smith and
it's pretty much the same thing. It's just you get better versions of it. But that back then there were leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it's real crazy to think about.
Okay, light pollution. I mentioned that during the reaction.
Yeah.
It reminded me when I worked on the river because that's one of the only times in my life I think I've ever experienced areas of the United States that had no light pollution.
Well, it's pretty sweet then.
Fuck yeah, because if you're out there on the boat,
and
you're just puttering down the river or up the river,
Yeah.
mind you, between Kentucky and Indiana, and there are no cities anywhere nearby.
Yeah.
None. And you're just out there in the dark of the night, and you
Yeah.
can hear the hum of the boat because they'll turn their running lights off.
Yeah.
And you just see nothing but black.
That's awesome.
And you'll see the stars and everything like on the
Yeah.
horizon, but it's fucking beautiful. I mean, other than like if you're on the ocean, for instance, at the beach, and you see the horizon of the ocean, and then when it gets dark in the evening, and all you can hear is the ocean, but you can't see the horizon.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the most beautiful things I've experienced in my life.
Yeah.
In terms of visually experiencing it. Yeah, no light pollution. It's really cool. Great experience. I just happened to notice it and thought I'd write it down.
What's interesting is ancient people throughout our entire history got a incredible. Like, I know there's this place in the U.S. to where there's the least amount of light pollution that's possible. Joe Rogan said on a podcast he went there and it's like nothing you've ever experienced. But the idea is like throughout most of our history on this planet, that's how everyone saw the sky until like 75 years ago.
Yeah, it's them. It's like whatever.
Yeah, but it's just so interesting. Like, oh wow, like no wonder the Aztecs and the Mayans and the Incas and the Egyptians were so obsessed with the stars, and they had a good look at it. And it was they can see. It's funny because we talk about like, oh, that's Saturn. Like, okay, that's like it looks. It's like a speck. Well, at these places with low light pollution, it's much more impressive. It makes sense to me now.
Though his experience with the whiskey,
the
one shot put him out.
Yeah.
No, Doc.
Yeah.
They fucking base plants. That reminds me because in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Christopher Lloyd is in that.
Oh yeah.
There's an experience with the character, and it's not him, but an experience with the character in that movie with whiskey that is the complete opposite. They have a shot of whiskey and they fucking go insane.
Oh, okay.
Like steam rolling out of their ears, all kinds of crazy shit.
Okay.
So it just reminded me of the kind of back and forth. And I'd have to look at the comparison and see when these movies were made compared to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But I think in our movie rotation, we need to get that in there.
No, I think we should.
In appreciation for this.
I don't know if you noticed this, but so the actor who played George McFly in the first one, he chose
Crispin Glover.
Yeah, Crispin Glover. A lot of people didn't know this, like growing up, but at the time it was kind of a big deal. Well, he wanted, from what I understand, an exorbitant amount of money to be in the second one because they didn't know it was going to be a gold mine, and they were like, "Well, we don't want to do that. You're not that huge. You're not going to be in the story that much." So they actually got an actor that looked exactly like him, and
for this movie,
for the second one and the third one.
Really?
Yeah. So the third one, he's like, "Can't find my glasses," and with the second one, they also reused scenes from the first one, and they reused things that I think they showed scenes that they didn't use from different angles. That's why all the flashbacks worked real well. But in the second one, when they're in the future and he's hanging upside down because his back was out, that was a different actor. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So the new scenes with him, that was the only scene in the second one, and the third one, it was only in the end. Everyone else reprised their role and they were fine, but he wanted an exorbitant amount of money.
Yeah, fucked it up, huh?
Yeah, and I think it kind of tarnished his legacy actually a little bit too. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. The scene where Marty puts the plate on, that is lifted from the Sergio Leone film For a Few Dollars More.
Okay.
If I remember right, was taken also from a Kurosawa film.
Really?
Because Sergio Leone modeled some of his films, like The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know if he did The Magnificent Seven.
Okay.
But either way, like some of that shit had been like they coincided.
Okay.
And
well, how would you know the samurai movie? Just someone stabbed you and.
No, because there's a guy.
This
is if I remember it right. I think I'm not going to vouch for that because I don't remember exactly, but
Yeah.
I do know in the Sergio Leone film For a Few Dollars More.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood uses that. There's a guy that has a rifle that makes it a big deal out of shooting people in the heart.
Yeah.
So he wears this plate, and the guy keeps trying to shoot him, and it keeps getting hit in the plate, and then.
Okay, so the very first time I was ever exposed to that was this movie, and then in Running Scared with Paul Walker and that crazy son of a bitch. You remember what I'm talking about? I think it was a Russian guy.
Well, John Noble played one of them, but
okay,
you're talking about his nephew?
Yeah, the guy, he's watching TV, and he's watching...
The John Wayne guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does it, and it shows him take it off forever.
That character does it, or he watched the guy in the movie?
He watched a guy in the movie, and he's like...
Off.
You can tell he's seen it a million times.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with that movie. I think his wife was like, "You're not John Wayne. You're not the Duke."
Oh, it was the idea at the end when he gets shot.
Yeah.
When his uncle shoots him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he shoots him through the tattoo.
Yeah.
He has the tattoo on his back of the Duke.
Yeah. But no, that's pretty much it. So within the trilogy, what do you think of the whole trilogy?
I honestly thought it was an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
And this is something I could say. I can sit down with the girls and say, "Look, this is good. It's funny. We should watch this."
And it's like
the first one. I don't think they'd enjoy as much, but I think they would like the second and third ones.
Yeah, it's funny because so the third one is actually my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I don't like it.
Well, I'm saying though, from my kids' point of view,
Yeah.
I think the first one they're not going to appreciate because it's just kind of like a '50s style diner experience versus the future and the Wild West, the extremes.
Yeah.
So
do you have like a way? I mean, they're really all like, especially the second, third go together so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the third one, but like out of all three things I love, like I do have an order, just like with children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm just kidding.
Sure.
No, but if I give the first one like in terms of family fun, like a 9.9, I give the second one a 10. I give this one a 9.89. Like that to me is how close they are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a favorite? Like mine's the second one, obviously. I figured that's yours.
My favorite's the second one,
Yeah.
and then probably this one and then the first.
Yeah.
I think just because of the ludicrousy of how things occurred.
Yeah.
The extremes.
Yeah.
Like them going back and Biff no longer just being a 50s school bully. He's all of a sudden he's this, piece of shit outlaw.
Yeah.
Like when after he shoots him, he's like walking with the gun.
Thank you.
Yeah. And doing that shit. Like he's just despicable. He's just a piece of shit.
And it's funny how there's
he's an asshole, like he says in the fucking movie.
Well, what's funny is like the three versions of him, like, because there's old him like in 1985.
Yeah.
But he's like middle-aged old. And then like obviously in what 2025. No, it's 2015 or whatever. Like he's like old fucking old.
Yeah.
When he's like the old shitty
diner
guy.
And he's got the fucking cane.
Yeah.
With the little fist on it.
And I think the second one, because it does so many different things, like they go to the future, and it's like pretty cool. It's like now it's called retro futuristic because obviously it's retro to us.
Yeah.
And it has like this weird retro-y Blade Runny feel, like this kind of clean dystopian look, you know. And then they go back to the first movie, and it's interwoven with the first movie.
Yeah.
It's having the same when you're watching the first movie, it's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And if they knew they were going to make a second one, I guarantee because of the way they made the second and third, I guarantee the way they would have made the first one is they would have included some kind of Easter eggs to show, okay, that's when those things fell when they were on stage playing the music. That was because of the second movie they dropped them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I liked it. I like how they combined those things, how they planned it all out, the production design, and, well, how do we call that? Storyboarding? I don't know. The storytelling methods, what they used, and how they lined everything up, I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue any hard science fiction shit. I don't think it's what this experience is about.
Yeah, I mean, that was the problem with the original. Well, I guess I heard he just, with all respect to him, I heard he wasn't doing it. He wasn't doing it like Michael J. Fox. And then obviously they replaced him, and they already filmed half the first movie.
Yeah.
So
my thing though is just from a viewer's experience.
Yeah.
These were good films. They were just good, enjoyable films you can sit down and watch, and it was just an idea. And in terms of storytelling and the capability, they did it well.
Yeah.
Because they answered a lot of their own questions that they produced.
Yeah.
And they gave you a good beginning and a good ending.
Yeah.
And not a lot of things or series manage that.
Yeah, there's things I love that don't end as well as this.
No, they don't. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of television series accepted.
Yeah.
Which is only a couple of those that I hold dear to my heart that I know begin and end well.
Yeah.
But in terms of film series, there aren't that many that have produced sequels or even prequels that have been proven to begin and end solidly across the board.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how many people can argue, like unless you just don't like these kind of movies.
Yeah.
That this doesn't begin and end well.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to say, "Oh, this is no Jason Bourne series." But fuck you. It's not what it's about. But I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah, it's purely a family flick, and that's not like, to me, that's not a. I'm not deriding that term.
No, I'm saying that it doesn't challenge anything.
Yeah.
It does not sit there and in of itself and say it's challenging something from its audience.
Yeah.
It's literally a ride.
It's a ride that you go on, and you. I think just like the aspect Michael J. Fox did so well is he's this teenage kid displaced in time.
Yeah, but he's not like an annoying teenage kid.
No, he's not. He's
enjoyable to watch. He performs well, and Doc Christopher Lloyd's great.
He's fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't really seen anything in him at all, literally, except Dennis the Menace and when it came out in theaters.
Literally those three.
And the Mandalorian. No, the Mandalorian season 3. Those are the only things I've ever seen him in.
Well, I knew him in Dennis the Menace. I knew him from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was very near and dear to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I knew him. Well, I knew he was in these, but I never really paid attention to them. I know he's played in a Taxi, was a television series that he was in when he was younger.
Okay.
I just knew about that. I never saw the series, and so he's played in some more movies here recently as an older man.
All right.
But I didn't follow him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just knew him when I saw him. But no, I think between Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox, and I don't know the guy who plays Biff.
Yeah.
His actor's name.
Can't remember either.
But those three guys.
They're fucking great.
They make this series.
I love that like when the convention thing kind of started in the mid 2000s. It's funny because it started for fans, and I've read that like people like these three, and actually I think the two original chicks who played who's this girl's name?
Jennifer,
yeah. They're always at conventions together for like Back to the Future panels.
Shue, right?
Elizabeth Shue. Woo, Elizabeth Shue. I tell you what, they're always together. They get to eat. They said now we get to have a reunion once a month, and we don't need a sequel. Or it's not like I see them at the Oscars every year. Like I literally see they get to get together frequently now because of the Comic-Con convention machine.
Circuit.
Yeah, that started. So they get paid. They get to just stand up there and answer questions. And like Michael J. Fox, it's very, very sad what happened to him because
it is.
It's heartbreaking because he's kind of, he's had the hardest life, and it's you can tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't really seen any of his other work. I know he was on like a pretty big famous TV show.
Yeah.
The same time he filmed these.
I remember seeing that on NBC or something like that when I was a kid.
And then he was on another show a little later in life.
I guess the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Because if it was airing when I was a kid, then it probably wouldn't have been something that he shot when he was doing this.
Yeah, there's something that aired when we were a kid, and then there's something that was aired at the same time as these three movies. But no, I love these. I'm glad we watched them. I'm glad you liked them. Now you can show your kids. And I knew you would love Doc Brown, if anything.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, he gives to me like the best performance, and just his face is...
I think I liked him, and I liked Marty, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think I liked Biff the most.
I
fucking hate Biff, but I liked the experience.
He's a great villain, and he's funny.
Yeah, I like the experience of Biff the most.
Yeah, he's just a great villain. Like he being the way he is, being the actor that has to be like shitty. That's always...
You're always the heel.
Yeah. But like he's so charming. Like I've seen him in other things. He's so funny too. He plays a gym teacher.
He told me.
Yeah, in Freaks and Geeks, and he's hilarious in it too. He's like big and tall, and then like he catches these kids making fun of younger kids. He's like, "Get out of here, butthead!" And he's like, when they're gone, he's like laughing at the fact that was happening.
Yeah.
He's just so funny. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching our movies. Thank you for watching this Choji. We appreciate it. We'll be watching many more. Maybe we should take suggestions. I don't know. But we're out of here. Much love.